everyone. This is Nisa. This video includes 35 MCQs on computer architecture, components of computer. Test your knowledge. Let's start. Q1. What does the central processing unit (CPU) include? A. Input, output and processing. B. Control unit, primary storage, and secondary storage. C. Control unit, arithmetic logic unit and primary storage. D. Control unit, processing, and primary storage. The correct answer is option C. Control unit, arithmetic logic unit and primary storage. Q2. The first computer architecture was introduced in 1970, 1968, 1971, 1973. The correct answer is option A. 1970. Q3. Which of the following is the process of entering data and programs into a computer system? Input, storage, production, program. The correct answer is option A. Input is the process of entering data and programs into a computer system. Q4. Computer performs 5 basic operations which are input, output, storage and control. Compute, process, compile, execute. The correct answer is option B. The computer performs 5 basic operations which are input, process, output, storage, and control. Q5. The process of taking out stored results out of physical memory of computers is known as input process, programming, output process, processing. The correct answer is option C. The process of taking stored results out of the physical memory of computers is known as the output process. Q6. Transformation of input into output is performed by CPU, the input-output unit, peripherals, UPS. The correct answer is option A. CPU. The CPU, the central processing unit of computers, converting input into output. Q7. Which unit of computer system holds data and instructions to be processed and intermediate results of processing? Storage unit, output unit, arithmetic logic unit, input unit. The correct answer is option A. Storage unit of a computer system holds data and instructions to be processed and intermediate results of processing. Q8. What is the full form of SMPS used in computers? Switched mode power supply, switch mode power station, semi-mode power storage, split mode power stabilizer. The correct answer is option A. Switched mode power supply. SMPS supplies power to various system components of the computer, such as the motherboard and device drivers. Q9. Which unit of the computer is considered as the brain of the computer? Input unit, CPU, memory unit, output unit. The correct answer is option B. CPU is considered the brain of the computer. Q10. Which among the following uses registers to hold data that is being processed? Input unit, control unit, memory unit, arithmetic logic unit. The correct answer is option D. Arithmetic logic unit. Q11. Which unit in a computer is responsible for managing the parts of the computer? Logic unit, arithmetic unit, control unit. None of the above. The correct answer is option C. Control unit. Q12. In CPU of a computer, a temporary storage register used during an arithmetic or logic operation is called instruction register, status register, accumulator, memory address register. The correct answer is option C. Accumulator is the most frequently used register to store data from memory. Q13. Which memory is used as part of the processor? RAM, ROM, registers, hard disk. The correct answer is option C. Registers are a type of computer memory used to quickly accept, store, and transfer data and instructions that are being used immediately by the CPU. The registers used by the CPU are often termed processor registers. Q14. Which of the following units performs the arithmetic tasks such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and logical operation? Input unit, control unit, arithmetic logic unit, storage unit. The correct answer is option C. It is arithmetic logic unit in a computer which carries out arithmetic and logical operations. Q15. Which of these is used as CPU in computer? Microprocessor, microcontroller, microcomputer, microprogrammer. The correct answer is option A. Microprocessor. The computer's CPU, central processing unit manufactured on a single IC. Integrated circuit is called a microprocessor. It is also known as a microchip. Q16. A large multi-layered printed circuit board inside a computer containing CPU, BIOS, ROM chips, CMOS setup and other components is called motherboard. Peripheral card. SCSI. Port. The correct answer is option A. Motherboard. Q17. What is the purpose of a CMOS chip in a CPU? Interface between the operating system and the motherboard. Saves system information such as time and date. Provides power to all internal parts of the computer. Protects internal parts from overheating. The correct answer is option B. Saves system information such as time and date. CMOS is alternatively known as non-volatile RAM. CMOS is an onboard, battery-powered semiconductor chip inside computers that stores information. This information ranges from the system time and date to system hardware settings for your computer. Q18. What is the function of the motherboard on the computer? Scanner and other things are part of the motherboard. A circuit board that connects all the external and internal hardware. It is a type of file server. Used for typing on screen. The correct answer is option B. A circuit board that connects all the external and internal hardware. Q19. What is the full form of CMOS, which is a computer chip responsible for storing settings of a computer system? Complementary memory semiconductor. Complementary metal oxide system. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Common metal oxide semiconductor. The correct answer is option C. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor. Q20. In microprocessor terminology, what does DMA stand for? Direct memory advice. Direct memory access. Dual memory access. Direct memorable access. The correct answer is option B. Direct memory access DMA is a method of transferring data from the computer's RAM to another part of the computer without processing it using the CPU. Q21. This type of bus carries the memory address from the computer to the memory. Address bus. Data bus. Control bus. Parallel bus. The correct answer is option A. Address bus. 8085 microprocessor has 3 buses: address bus, data bus, and control bus. Address bus is a 16-bit bus used to select a particular memory location or a peripheral device. It is unidirectional. Q22, a bus that connects major components in a multi-processor system, such as CPUs, IOPs, and memory, is called a system bus, control bus, data bus, address bus. The correct answer is option A. System bus. The system bus is a collection of wires and copper tracks that are used for digital communication between different components, CPU, I/O devices, memory, inside a system. The system bus consists of the address bus, data bus, and control bus. System bus is also known as internal bus. Q23. What is the full form of USB as used in computer-related activities? United Serial Bus. Universal Security Block. Universal Serial Bus. Ultra Security Board. The correct answer is option C. Universal Serial Bus (USB) is an industry standard that establishes specifications for cables and connectors and protocols for connection, communication, and power supply interfacing between computers, peripherals, and other computers. Q24. When a new CPU includes instruction set of its predecessor CPU along with some new instructions, then new CPU is said to be backward compatible, right compatible, forward compatible, left compatible. The correct answer is option A. When a new CPU includes an instruction set of its predecessor CPU along with some new instructions, then the new CPU is said to be backward compatible. Q25. Which Indian IT expert is called the father of the Pentium processor? Biswamohan Pani, Vinod Dham, Ajay Bhatt, Anand Chandrasekhar. The correct answer is option B. Vinod Dham. Q26. Clock speed is the speed at which a microprocessor interprets instructions, writes instructions, reads instructions, executes instructions. The correct answer is option D. The speed at which a microprocessor can execute the instructions is called the clock speed. Q27. Current microprocessor speed is measured in megahertz, gigahertz, nanohertz, kilohertz. The correct answer is option B, gigahertz. Q28. What does MIPS stands for in computer terminology? A. Marginal input storage. B. Million instruction per second. C. Micro information processing storage. D. Memory image processing state. The correct answer is option B. MIPS stands for million instruction per second. It is a method of measuring the raw speed of a computer's processor. Since the MIPS measurement doesn't take into account other factors such as the computer's I/O speed or processor architecture, it isn't always a fair way to measure the performance of a computer. Q29. When a computer is switched on, the BIOS is loaded from hard disk, RAM, ROM, CD-ROM. The correct answer is option C, ROM. BIOS Basic Input-Output System is the program a computer's microprocessor uses to start the computer system after it is powered on. It also manages data flow between the computer's operating system and attached devices, such as the hard disk, video adapter, keyboard, mouse, and printer. Q30. When a computer is switched on, it performs a set of diagnostic tests to see if the hardware is working properly. This process is referred to as boot, flash, BIOS, post. The correct answer is option D, post power on self-test. It is the initial set of diagnostic tests performed by the computer right after it's powered on, with the intent to check for any hardware-related issues. Q31. The process of starting a computer or a computer-embedded device is called shutting, booting, sleep mode, BIOS. The correct answer is option B. Booting is a process for starting a computer. It can be started by hardware, such as pressing a button, or by a software command. Q32. Which one of the following is the correct sequence of steps for executing an instruction during CPU's processing? Fetch, read, decode, store and execute. Decode, read, execute, fetch and store. Decode, fetch, execute and store. Fetch, decode, read, execute and store. The correct answer is option D. The correct sequence of instruction cycle is fetch, decode, read, execute and store. Q33. What is the full form of PCI bus? Peripheral Component Interconnect. Personal Computer Interface. Personal Computer Information. Peripheral and Component Information. The correct answer is option A. Peripheral Component Interconnect PCI bus. It specifies a computer bus for attaching peripheral devices to a computer motherboard. These devices can be in the form of integrated circuits fitted on the motherboard itself or expansion cards that fit in sockets. Q34. Buffer is a device or storage area where data is temporarily stored, is permanently stored. Error occurs. None of these. The correct answer is option A. Buffer memory is a temporary storage region in main memory (RAM) that holds data while it is being transferred between two or more devices or between an application and a device. Q35. What is the full form of UPS? A. Unwanted power supply. B. Unused power supply. C. Uninterrupted power supply. D. Uninstall power supply. The correct answer is option C. UPS stands for uninterrupted power supply. Thank you. Don't forget to comment your score. And do share with your friends.